So can you really use math to beat the odds in the NFL? Well, we're about to find out. Today, we're diving into a system that uses algorithms set before the season even started to predict games. And honestly, the results are kind of shocking. Let's see how it all works. 34 and 12. Just let that sink in for a second. That is the combined record of a set of predictive algorithms over just the first 3 weeks of the NFL season. I mean, think about that. That's a win rate of over 73%. So that's the big question, right? How? How does a purely mathematical model, something that was locked in before a single game was played, get it right so often in a league that's famous for being, completely unpredictable? Well, in this explainer, we're going to unlock that code. We are going to break down the rules of the system, we'll take a look at its actual predictions for week 4, and then we get to see the new challenger that's about to enter the ring. All right, first things first, let's meet the architect and the machines behind all these predictions. So the whole system was built by a guy named Michael Toft Jr., and it's not just one formula, it's actually a trio of them, simply called A, B1, and B2. But here's the craziest part. All of their picks for the entire season were locked in before week 1 even kicked off. They don't react to injuries, they don't care about upsets, and yet somehow all 3 of them are sitting with that exact same incredible 34 and 12 record. But, a system is only as good as its rules. So how exactly does Tofton measure success? And what happens when the numbers get a little weird? Now, the system's benchmark for success is pretty fascinating because it's not about being perfect. He calls it gambler's math, where the goal is simply to get 9 or 10 picks right out of 16 each week. It's a really practical approach. It's not about being impossibly perfect. It's about being consistently profitable. Okay, now this is where things get really, really clever. What does the system do when a game is just too close for the numbers to call? Well, it has a very specific set of rules for breaking a tie. And this right here is the secret key to the whole thing. When you see one of the predictions is a 1-point game, like 21-20, don't think of it as a nail-biter. That 1-point difference is actually a signal. It means the algorithm couldn't decide on a winner. It basically threw up its hands and called it a mathematical tie. So a human has to step in, but with a very strict set of rules. So how are those ties broken? Well, it all depends on the matchup. For non-division games, the creator, Tofte, manually picks a winner based on things like home field advantage. But for division rivals, the ones that play each other twice, the rule is totally automated. The system just assumes they'll split the series 1-1 and gives the first win to whoever's playing at home. Simple as that. All right, enough theory. We know the rules, right? Let's put them to the test and see what this formula is actually predicting for week 4. Let's start with a nice clean one. In the matchup between the Bills and the Saints, there's absolutely no debate. All 3 algorithms, A, B1, and B2, came to the exact same conclusion before the season. Bills win 31-17. Easy peasy. But then we get here, and we see some internal conflict. For the Buccaneers versus the Eagles, algorithms A and B2 have the Bucs just squeaking out a 1-point win. But algorithm B1, it disagrees, giving a pretty solid victory to the Eagles. It's a great reminder that these are 3 distinct models, not just copies of each other. And here it is, a perfect example of that tiebreaker rule we were just talking about. All 3 algorithms predicted Chiefs 21, Ravens 20, and that 1-point difference, ding, 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 that's our signal for a mathematical tie. Since it's a non-division game and the Chiefs are at home, they get the tie-breaking point. Now, this quote is just fantastic. It's a divisional game, and the algorithm called for a 1-1 split this season. The rule is clear. Give the first game to the home team, which is the Cardinals, and even though the creator himself, Toffier, says he personally thinks the Seahawks will win, he sticks to the system's rule. Now that is discipline. And this just adds another layer of that human insight. The preseason algorithms all picked the Steelers to win big, but Tofte comes right out and admits he's not so confident anymore because of how Minnesota has been playing. It really shows that tension between a static preseason prediction and the wild, dynamic reality of the league. So, what's next for this whole experiment? Well, after week 4, just when you think you have it all figured out, things are about to get a whole lot more interesting. That's right, the trio is about to become a quartet. A brand new algorithm called Algorithm C is getting introduced to the mix. And let me tell you, Algorithm C is a total game changer. Unlike the others, it's not going to use any preseason data at all. It's going to be purely reactive, making its picks based only on trend data from the games played this year. And every single week, its performance is going to be compared directly against our original three.
And this, right here, sets up the ultimate question. What's more powerful when it comes to prediction? A static model that's based on historical data, locked in for the future? Or a dynamic model that learns and adapts to the chaos of the present? I guess we'll all have to wait and see.